Stickweed.
You want to dance, Ronnie? I want a polka.
If you like pina coladas, get caught in the rain. If you're not into yoga, if you have half a brain. If you like making love at midnight in the dunes on the cave.
Hey guys, before the video gets started, I wanted to make a quick last minute addition and a statement. The answers that I choose and the questions that I choose are more concerning to me, and I just give my thoughts and opinions on it. However, there is a lot of good information that Blizzard has given us, and so I don't want it to make this complete ragfest on Blizzard. I mainly talk about the concerning points of their posts. Hello everyone, this is Chef Butters, and today we are going to discuss a new blue post from Blizzard. They have made a quite sizable blue post answering questions. I find the first questions to be the most significant, so let's discuss those. Jumping right in, the first question is this. What exactly are the pop caps for a layer, and extrapolating from that, what are the server pop thresholds roughly indicating what makes a server low versus medium versus high? So their answer is we are not releasing specific numbers. That will likely change dramatically. Based on the response we got from name reservations, we are anticipating large player populations for some realms initially. This may change as players switch to lower population realms. We'll use layers to help improve performance in the short term. If large groups of players cluster in an area, we hope to reduce the use of layering over time as people spread out in each realm. Okay. So information we have received thus far has been back and forth. It feels like on one hand Blizzard acknowledges that there's a lot of people and they are ready. Then we get other information that states they are not ready for this many people. My first initial thoughts on the statement from Blizzard, quote unquote, we are not releasing specific numbers. That will likely change dramatically. So they are basing the server caps based on population? Well, that is not very vanilla. Wow, spirited. What if they increase the cap to 10,000? The old servers were 2,500. Are they also going to increase the spawn timers on things like Black Lotuses? Something that is clear to me in this answer is Blizzard taking the gamble that there is going to be a drop-off on these full servers. They mentioned using layers to help improve performance on the short term if large groups of players cluster in an area. Obviously, right away, we think of starting zones. We think of the starting zones and the clusters in which they ensue on the start of a fresh released MMO. They then say they hope to reduce the use of layering over time as people spread out in each realm. I take two things from this statement. The keyword here is hope. They hope to reduce the use of layering. What is it, Blizzard? Is layering going to get phased out completely, or is it going to be more limited? What if Blizzard is wrong? And let's say on a server that their cap is 10,000 people. What if a portion of people drop off on that server as any MMO release has? What happens if it stays very busy and very full even with the drop off? There is so many people on these servers. What happens even after the drop off if there's a shit ton of people? Then with these populations, they are setting themselves up for a situation where they have to layer. So Blizzard's original statements talking about how layering will get phased out completely, but now maybe not, because they're creating an environment where they're stacking these servers with so many people, they may have to layer. They won't have a choice, and they'll just say that they don't have a choice, it's gotta happen, but they're the ones who created this situation where they're having to layer. If they would just create more servers, we would not need this. And we'll get on to character transfers in a second, but if they should I would be able to say at this point, I would rather just have a bunch of servers, and if they need to mesh servers together, or people can character transfer in a short amount of time in the beginning, they should be able to do that, as they're already discussing, but we'll get to that in a minute. And if the people that want to choose really full servers are in super long wait queues, well, don't let the people, in this case, it's good to listen to people occasionally, but in this case, don't let the people decide what your server caps are. You can say the server caps back in the day were based on how much the servers could handle, which would be semi-true, but it was also true that with too many people, it gets rid of the authenticity of the original game that made it very fun. It was fun to see the same people all the time. And when you walk into Ironforge and you know your friends are there and you don't see them because you're on another layer, that is gonna feel very bad. That's gonna not feel Classic WoW authentic. That is gonna feel BFA authentic. They are so concerned of a drop off of players that they may ruin some very key components of what makes Classic WoW authentic. It means a lot if you guys punch that like button and throw that sub. This is a small community and your thoughts and opinions matter to me, so let me know how you feel down below about these questions and answers. Moving on to the second question. The next question is quite the doozy as well. Do you have a contingency plan to deal with a larger than expected population? Suppose as many people create characters in the 24 hours before and after launch as have done so already, how quickly will you be able to add new servers? So Blizzard answer is this. We have contingency plans in place to bring up additional realms quickly if needed. We may also integrate character transfers. This ultimately became a service in original WoW. As you can imagine, it's difficult for us to gauge how many people will come to play Classic and stay on to experience max level content. Ultimately, we want to see realms with healthy, stable populations, so we'll try to match demand without inadvertently creating low population realms in the process. Okay, so in that last statement, it's again kind of proof in a way that they're so worried about huge drop-offs in population that they're really putting in contingency plans based on they're completely predicting this is going to happen. I would say they need to balance that a little bit more. They need to plan a little bit better and plan for the win. Like I said before, they could easily create too many servers. And I know that probably costs them more money, but kind of worth the risk. So Blizzard has a contingency plan to add realms quickly and also integrate character transfers to the people who chose full servers to begin with. Okay, so Blizzard has a contingency plan to add realms quickly and also integrate character transfers to the people who chose full servers to begin with. Wait a minute. Almost all of the servers are high or full. So what is going to happen here? Release day. We all know there's going to be a huge spike in player base on release day on the first 2 days. So Blizzard has a contingency plan to add realms quickly and also integrate character transfers to the people who chose full realms to begin with. So almost all the servers are high and or full. So what is going to happen here? Release day, we all know there is going to be a huge spike in player base on release for the first 2 days. I know plenty of people who are doing this. They're going to wait till launch day and then they're going to get their subs and play the game. They're not getting the early character creation. So you're telling me Blizzard is going to wait to see the people make characters on release day with their only options of servers being high in population or full servers. High population or full servers. Imagine the queue time. Imagine the fucking queue time. So you're going to see a complete cluster if they don't add more servers before launch. Let's put this hypothetical in place. So we have a little boy named Jimmy. Little Jimmy is going to log on and create his character on opening day. Okay, little Jimmy, what server do you pick? Well, Jimmy's gonna pick the server that's fucking full, or high at the bare minimum, because all the servers are pretty much at that. And he's gonna choose Herod, or Herod, because it's a rad name. Okay, now imagine thousands of little Jimmys. The server cap is going to have to be like 25,000 people or nobody's gonna ever play. Well, that sure as shit is not going to bode well with a authentic classic WoW experience. Sure, there's plenty of queue times on authentic WoW back in the day, but on one hand, you have made many blue posts asking people to transfer off these servers, and now you're going to have a shit ton of people transferring over characters. And you know those who do transfer won't necessarily get the names they originally got. So you're gonna have a bunch of pissed off people that saved their names 2 weeks prior. They paid out of pocket basically, get a sub 2 weeks ago. And on launch day, they're now gonna have to transfer the character because they did not create enough servers. Now, I like the fact that Blizzard is offering a character transfer just in case if something goes wrong with your personal realm, you give a quick character transfer. That's not a bad idea, but let's use that in a different light. Let's use that in the light of let's create extra servers. You don't have to go too crazy, but just create extra servers. And let's say, and people that choose those low pop servers, of course, you're gonna get kind of an advantage in leveling. So who knows what their window of transferring will be or should be. But that being said, maybe that's a good thing because maybe those people who get on those servers, they realize that server is actually full as well. And it's better just to stay on that server. But what we're gonna have is people, I'm sorry for the rant, but we're gonna have a bunch of people that are just pissed off. They're not gonna get their names because they're gonna transfer to a server that name is taken. So they did 2 weeks ago, they paid extra money to get nothing. And then you're gonna have god-awful queue times on the initial day until they put out those extra servers. It's kind of a clusterfuck. People are going to have queue time of like 3 hours. I'm telling you, this is going to be a lot of people on one freaking server. Blizzard needs to add more servers. Do it soon. All right, so the next question is, with so many of classic servers showing full population already, how long do you expect the queues to be? It's gonna be a lot, kid. What do you consider to be an acceptable queue to log in? What steps do you have in mind to remedy the situation if not enough people are moving off the full servers, given that a lot of people will still want to roll on them to join friends, guildmates already? Can we expect free server transfers further down the line if the situation doesn't sort itself out? So the answer is, we've answered these questions in more detail in other posts, but I'll try to summarize the answers for you. Based on the name reservations we've seen, the queue time on some realms will be extremely long. We've opened up additional realms, but we're encouraging people to set up their characters on lower population realms for a better experience. This is a good time to coordinate with your friends / guild to switch if they've reserved names on a full realm. We're considering integrating character transfer services later on when players have higher level characters. They're going to have character transfers, that's fine. I guess. That's okay. Later on, that's okay. But there's not really much to say here. There's not really much of a problem with this except for what we've already said. And, you know, they mentioned they have opened additional realms, but it's not enough. Those realms are filling up and the other servers are staying full as they're filling up. And this isn't even launch day yet. Those full to high servers are going to be absolutely batshit crazy on opening day. There is no denying it, people. So if you want to go look at all these questions, I have the link below. There's so many questions and answers to them on the forum. And you know, some of these Blizzard posts and some of these answers are actually good. I kind of mentioned the ones that are concerning, but just let me know what you think is good and what is bad about the blue post, and go check it out for yourself and come back to comment your thoughts and opinions. Everyone, have a wonderful day. Like, sub, cheers. And you know what? We are so close. And even then, even with these crazy possible queue times, it's gonna be a blast.